Right, got one here from Andrew. Hi, Linus and Luke. Watcher since the million subscriber days. If given the choice today, provided that you keep all your current memories, would you go back 10 years and repeat those years again? Would you do anything different?
I don't think I would want to do it again. 10 years of LMG? Man,
I would unquestionably go back. I would press that button immediately.
really?
Oh, yeah.
What would you change?
And like hard. I'd potentially break it.
Would you keep your current body or the 10-year ago body? Add a modifier to that.
Is that a question?
Yeah, is that part of the question?
No, it's not.
Okay. You would go back and do it again?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't raise 3 kids in that time.
No.
Right.
Yeah, that might change the answer.
Okay.
But I didn't. So like, yeah, I'm pressing the button. That's not on my side of the table. Yeah. Oh yeah. And like, what would I change? Lots of stuff. I don't know. I don't want to get like too specific, but oh yeah. Like, what do you mean? The min-maxing opportunities? You keep all your memories. That's a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, what if I knew everywhere that things were going to go in the market and stuff, and I could set up our like video production path to be more well aimed? Like, I wouldn't want to make major changes because you don't want to risk like breaking the whole system.
Okay, but here's a hypothetical, because I know you've gone through this before. Have you ever written a video script, lost your save file, and gone back and tried to write it again? Is it always better?
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want to make major changes.
Yeah, but how would you avoid it? Because that's the problem with trying to rewrite a script, is you don't remember what you did right.
I'd still do it. I'm still doing it.
Okay.
I'm still pressing the button. I understand there's problems. I'm still doing it. There's so much you could min-max, and I think you would create new problems, but I think you would solve more problems than you would create. I know there's things, I'm not going into it. You're not going to peer pressure me into going into it. There are things that I would change that would result in better future, unquestionably.
Okay, all right.
And like,
fair.
I think that's got to be true for pretty much everybody. 10 years is a really big amount of time. And there's mistakes in that amount of time. Yeah, so it's, Conrad, I'd press the button and buy Bitcoin. Yeah, welcome to now being a multi-billionaire, because 10 years ago when we're in the LTT studio at NCIX, I actually tell us to start mining like crazy, and I don't back down, which I very willingly did because I agreed with you that I thought it was just not going anywhere.
Okay.
And we start mining like nuts, and you and I both put everything we can in Bitcoin.
What about this?
Now we big ballers.
See, that is not a minor change. That's a major change.
I'm
What
doing
if
it
we...
anyways.
Hold on. No, come on. Help me out here. Just bear with me. What if we became total assholes?
We wouldn't.
What if we did?
We wouldn't.
What if we did? What if that amount of money...
I can go down that if you want, but we wouldn't.
What if that amount of money changed us?
You are very wealthy. I wasn't going to go here, but you kept pushing it. You are very wealthy.
All right.
Has it changed you too much?
We went there. I mean, you've made the argument that it's changed me more than you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, if we're having this conversation, then we're having this conversation. Fine, let's lay it all on the table.
I didn't think we were going to go there.
Well, you started it.
You started
No,
it.
you started it.
I don't think it's changed you at the level that you were basically warning about right there.
But what if it
I don't think,
demotivated us?
Did you press the button when you said that word?
Look, hold on. You've
Hello?
talked about how motivated you are personally by adversity, by having to go hard.
Yeah.
Don't you think that kind of wealth, we're talking billion-dollar wealth potentially, don't you think that would take some of the fun out of it? What if hunting was as simple as just pressing a fucking button and the animal dies?
I know stuff that I would do with it. That would still be motivating.
If it's unlimited, does that not take out the thrill of the chase, though?
You know this, finances don't interest me a ton.
Yes, I do know that.
So there are things that I would do with it that I know current people that are billionaires are not doing with it, that I would do with it, because I actually don't really care.
Okay, but would we work together on that? What if we lost that? There. That's my question.
I feel
would
like
you
we wouldn't.
potentially trade our relationship for $1 billion?
Well, I feel like we wouldn't. And a multiple of my reasons there is, again, you are very wealthy. You don't have to do this
Yes.
at all, right? You
No.
do this because you want to provide these types of things. You're very motivated by the lab because you think the lab should exist.
Well, of course it should
You
exist.
think it's a good resource for like humanity.
It needs to exist.
Yeah. You gonna not build the lab because you have $1 billion?
Well,
You're still gonna build a lab. You're still motivated by the same things.
but wouldn't it be boring?
I don't think it would be boring. I don't
The
think
fight for survival is what makes us get up in the morning.
I don't think you're fighting for survival.
And well, not for mine. But that's the thing, is if I had $1 billion, then like,
You wouldn't just give it to
I
everybody.
kind of wouldn't have to care. Like,
But you also wouldn't just give it to
well,
everybody.
you've also seen my mentality change too, though. Like, I was definitely, I was more of a min-maxer in terms of our spend as a company in the early days.
Yes.
And I think that, admittedly, yes, I have a significant amount of personal wealth, okay?
I really wasn't trying to
I think it's changed my attitude significantly.
Yeah. I also think though that as to a certain level as companies grow, you have to do things that are less efficient with finances.
That's true. And that's been a really tough thing for both me and Yvonne, because
And me.
and Luke, even though he's spending my money or whatever, right? Even though he's not spending money that affects him personally, I think Luke is probably one of the people, I'd say top 5 for me. One of the most affected people by spending not his own money. And it's a really valuable trait. And I'm sorry, I'm talking about you like you're not here, but it's a really valuable trait because people who spend someone else's money as if it's their own are people who just can see the bigger picture. Because the bigger picture is, theoretically, at some point, by improving efficiency, it will benefit all of us. And you know what? I think there's a lot of people who are cynical and jaded enough from their real experiences in the world that they don't believe in that anymore. But I can tell you, for me, it's a really valuable trait because it means that I could trust you to do it, maybe not the way I would have done it, but a really good way. And it's really hard to find. It's super hard to find, and companies need that. By the way, I want to apologize to the person that I said was dumb. Apparently, they misphrased it. I saw their chat, that Twitch chat, just like
It was a
started moving
little
again.
much. I think you should maybe not read live chats during the show.
I just shouldn't read Twitch chat. Floatplane chat's pretty good.
Fair enough.
But basically, they were saying that if you hired a superstar from somewhere else and then they didn't perform in your environment, then that's on you, which is
No.
an entirely different point.
There are aspects to that could be on you, but that's also not entirely on you.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Anywho, so
Luke would save all the budgies with Bitcoin. It's probably not entirely untrue. Yeah, I don't know. I would press it. I understand there are pitfalls. I do understand there are pitfalls. But I've always had this idea, like if I could go back to being like 5. Yeah. If I somehow knew what I currently know, I would do it. 100%.
okay. All right. Yeah, I don't think I would.
I told, and you know what? When this question came in, the reason why I looked at you and smiled was I knew you would say no, and I knew I was going to say yes.
Part of it's a philosophical thing for me. Like, I don't believe in regret. There are certainly things I would have done differently, but part of the way that I just like keep going every day is by looking forward, not looking backward. And I feel like for me, it would actually be a very demotivating experience to have to live back through a lot of, I wouldn't want to live it again.
I get that, and I can understand how my stance on it makes it sound like I live in regret. I think living in regret is an extremely bad thing to do and you can't work that way. I don't think it's regret. I think it's just desire to like.
Well, you're the king of min-maxing.
Exactly.
I get it.
It's that.
I
It's
get
not
it.
regret. I think I've done great. I'm actually like very happy with where I'm at and how things are going. Like life's good. I don't have a lot of regrets. Made mistakes, but everybody's made mistakes, so whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's just. It's
so
part-
then why?
I think it'd be fun.
Oh.
I think it'd be really fun. I think the min-maxing aspect would be great because I have all my memories. There's also tons I forgot.
Yeah, but I'd screw it up.
I literally forgot an entire video. We just
Yeah.
we just filmed that thing, right? Like
I almost certainly. I feel like I would almost certainly screw it up.
you think so?
Yeah, because there's been so many times that I've been at a crossroads and I've gone, like, even knowing the result, I could go back and I could take that other path and it could be worse.
I think if I was the only one, I think what I would do was I wouldn't tell anyone.
That you know?
I wouldn't tell anyone that I know anything.
Okay. But
And-
then would that come across like kind of arrogant? Just like, I know and I'm not going to tell you how I know. Would you be a different person?
I don't think so.
It's harder to not change. We can't just will ourselves to be who we want to
I
be.
understand, and I didn't. To be clear, the wording there was specific. I didn't say no. I said I didn't
Right.
think so.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think
Like
so.
I also don't think that your success has changed you. I think that you are able to spend $1 now without having anxiety.
I still struggle a little bit.
I think that's a positive change. Yeah, but I've seen you make frivolous purchases. When I met you, there was no such thing as a frivolous purchase. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
But just
Also,
because
couldn't afford toothpaste.
but you can be different without changing.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm trying to say, and I think you've done a good job of that. But I think that $1 billion is a lot.
It is. It is. I didn't. To be fair, when I first said and my opinion does not change. I think the Bitcoin thing was Conrad's idea. I didn't even think about it,
Yeah.
but it's a good point. And if I did press the button, it is probably something that I would do because
Yeah.
if the scenarios are almost identical, you and I are going to be in that studio
Yeah.
and we're going to be talking about.
There's going to be a bunch of GPUs sitting there.
Hey, do we use these to mine? This is we've talked about this on Land Show a few times, but we had a bunch of really high-end GPUs. We had literally these like multi-platform bench systems
Yes.
that are exactly what people use
Just
to mine on.
sitting there.
Just sitting
Just
there.
sitting there.
And we were like, hey, we could do this.
And we were like, lol, you know what? It
That
probably
company doesn't
matter.
exist anymore anyway, so I guess I can talk about them. But we were like, we'll just run it in here. You get free power.
We've changed a little. I like to think neither of us would do that anymore.
Yeah.
That's one thing that changed. Once I had money, I insist on paying for things now.
Yes, me too.
Like,
Me too.
I actually do insist on paying for things
I went
now.
back and bought a bunch of games that I pirated and
Yeah.
stuff. I did that quite a while ago.
I've had people try to comp me meals, and I just leave money on the table. Like I won't. I can afford to pay.
Oofmeister in Floatplane chat said you wouldn't spend the money from Bitcoin though, so what's the point? I wouldn't spend it on myself. That's like, and I genuinely believe that. I actually don't.
I
think
actually
would.
believe that too.
Yeah.
I know how much money he makes.
Yeah.
This shirt was free.
I have new socks.
You did buy new socks. I only sort of approve of them. We talked about this after the
That's
show last
literally
week.
true.
I was
Yeah.
like full disappointed dad, but trying to be supportive.
I like them a little bit less since then, but I still
I'm
like
sorry.
them a lot. It's
I
okay.
was trying not to be a downer.
It's better
I'm sorry.
to know. Okay, yeah. This is part of the reason why I would press the button is because I have always had this stance that it is always better to know. Painful information is still better than
And that's
no
why I'm
information.
honest with you, because if
Yeah.
you were anyone else, I would have been like, oh my gosh, those are so nice. I love them. Hold on.
yeah, I'd
I
rather
can
know.
actually do that more convincing. Okay. No way. After all the time we spent talking about socks, you finally did it.
That was actually pretty convincing.
pretty
I can
convincing,
usually
right?
catch them. I have a really hard time watching videos of you when you're talking about like a product or something that I know you're not interested in. Because I think you convince people pretty well, but no.
Yeah.
I see it immediately. And then it's like painful for me to watch because I know it's painful for you. So the whole time I'm watching it, I'm just like, oh.
That's why I just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like...
There was a while there, I think like 2-3 years ago where you're doing it a lot.
Yeah.
And like...
Well, I was covering what I thought I should be covering.
Yeah.
Notice I just don't bother reviewing the iPhone anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's an iPhone. Apple, by design, makes it change as little as possible, generation by generation, so that dum-dums who can't handle a button moving are not going to get confused. Like, for real, that's actually in the... It's a core part of the design philosophy of the product. And so it's inherently boring now.
Yeah. I don't know, like something that I thought of quite a while ago. I know there's a lot of things that I would do.
You know how I did it just now, though? I made what I was talking about
Something
how
else.
I felt instead of the product. That's what I did.
Interesting.
And that's what makes it convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess what I'm doing right now is I'm outing myself as someone who can lie convincingly, which is bad.
I already knew that.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I don't want to. That's key. And
I will give you this credit. I think you very rarely do.
I only do if I have to. So there's situations like, and honestly, a lot of the time I'm really uncomfortable with it. But like as an employer, you actually cannot always be honest with someone.
Legally.
Like legally. And it's really frustrating for me.
It is.
One of the ones in particular is that if you, in BC, in Canada, if you dismiss someone with cause, there is a lot more legal liability for your company and therefore for your entire team than if you simply dismiss someone without cause and just like put together a severance package and be like, okay, see you later. If they come to you and they say, hey, what was it? Was it my awful performance here? Was it the time theft I committed here? Like, even if it doesn't matter how legit the reason is, the best thing to do, every lawyer I've ever talked to has said, you cannot answer those questions. So like from a legal liability
really
standpoint, I can't give people honest feedback. I like giving honest feedback because I like receiving honest feedback. I think that an environment of openness and honesty is more constructive for everyone involved, even if you're parting
Better
ways.
know.
Yeah, if I was getting dumped by, okay, let's say my wife divorced me. Okay, let's say Yvonne left me. I want to know why. I don't want to lose a lady like that again if I ever find one again, right? So I find that kind of thing extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of it too is just I find the truth is just more effective. Like if you want to enact any kind of change in your life, dishonesty ain't gonna do it.
Yeah. And you can package things better. Like you don't have to be an ass about it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That's a thing. But like, or maybe you want to be. Depends on the context. But like you can package things in different ways to try to accomplish different goals while still being very clear and truthful about what you're saying. Yeah. That went a weird path. But anyways, I'd press the button.
This is great. Von Bauerfeind says, big employer talking about time theft, eye roll. So what? It doesn't exist the other way? You've never known anyone who said they worked 8 hours but didn't? Really? Yeah, you're right. That doesn't exist probably. Cool.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I will also say, while saying that I would press the button, and this isn't even, I'm not even being judgmental. I think it would be very bad for a large amount of people, but I think I would be fine.